morning, everyone. Glenda Mollet here, and I'm in my craft room stamping with you today. And we are going to use the Celebration bundle that you can get free at the 120 level. That's the Berry Blessing stamp set. And let me get my recipe. No recipe. Hang on. Hang on. I should have had the paper out. Sorry. Berry Blessing stamp set and Berry Delightful designer paper. Now you can get this, as I said, I hate repeating myself, but you know when you start a sentence, you got to keep going. You can get it for free at the 120 level. Look at these amazing papers. Now this coordinates with the Sweet Strawberries bundle that's in the JJ Mini catalog. Okay, so here's the card, and I'm just gonna, I was a little bit late this morning because trying to get packages ready for the mail, because today's Mail It Monday, and Mail It Monday is when I try to get all of my thank you cards from last week out, and any kit packages. And so I'm going to the post office today with an entire tote full of stuff to mail. Okay, so I got the kit. So this is the stamp set that you can get that goes along with that designer paper. So I'm going to use a new punch today. Not Mullet Monday. No, it's Mollet Monday. The JJ catalog. It's called Treasure Tags Pick a Punch. And I'm going to use this side. And then some gold glitter dots. I'm going to color them with the dark rich raspberry blends. My poor subtle embossing folder. Look at this. It has seen better days. But you know what? Just pop a bit of packing tape on there, the clear packing tape, and it holds your hinge together. And yeah, it's been like that for probably 4 years now. Okay. So, thick Whisper White card base, and a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside, and a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 for the outside. A strip of 2 by 5 designer paper. A piece to do the tag on. A piece to do this little bit right here. Let me get a little close. Sorry, it paused there for a minute. Oh my. Okay, and then some white twine. Now this comes out of the Snailed It Suite, or Snail Mail Suite, or whatever it's called. And a piece for the sentiment. Okay, so we'll get this up in the corner. Get that in the corner, and we will start to do some creating. First thing is to run this through the mini, or the cut and emboss machine. Mullet Monday. Yeah, it's Mullet Monday. Hey, that's a new name. That would be awesome, Val. I should call it Mullet Monday instead of Monday Live Stamping. Great idea. Okay, this is going through the machine. Uh-oh. Wrong plate. I had the wrong sandwich in there, because this is one of the old style embossing folders. Okay, so we got texture on there. And take the white twine, and I'm going to wrap it around twice, and then bring it back over here. Right about there. Now at this point you make sure your tails are the same length, because if they're not, this is where you'll have a lopsided bow. So still need to pull a little bit more of this one. It's hard to judge because you're making one end longer, but you're also making one end shorter. So there we go. That's close enough. Okay, so it's wrapped around twice, like that. And while I have it nice and tight, I'm just going to, I should have put adhesive down, so I'll just take a piece of tape here and just hold it in place. Of course, I have to make sure it's straight, because you know, story of my life. There we are. Okay, now that's held in place. So this is going to go underneath both wraps like this. And oh, hello, designer paper first. Oh Lord. Okay, string's coming off. Good thing I realized that before I tied the knot and did all that stuff. Yeah, I was up till 2:30 this morning in my craft room, so things may not go according to plan. That was a very productive night. Okay, designer paper, where are you? There we are. So let's get some Stamp and Seal on the back of that. Now both of the sides of this paper are pretty, and I love the blackberry theme, because blackberries are one of my favorite things in the summer. Around here we get tons and tons and tons of blackberries, so that's why I prefer to call these blackberries. Now where you live, you may call them something else, but in my world, they're blackberries. Just centering this. There we go. Now we can wrap this twine around. Check the length of my tails. Close enough. Wrap one around all of the wraps. Then I turn my piece sideways and give it a little bit of a pull just to make sure it's tight. Then put my finger on it and tie a knot. When you're trying to tie a bow like this, start with a knot, because it's just a lot easier to deal with. Okay, now I'm going to put this right onto my card front, because it will be even easier to deal with when it's on the card front. More stability, less chance of it running away on you. There goes my fingerprint again. Okay, so did we have a good weekend? Our garage door broke on the weekend. This big main spring that lifts it up and down is no longer working. And it stopped working the day after our local family's well pump packed it in. So they've been busy dealing with that, and my garage door has kind of got relegated to later on, which is okay, because I'd rather them get water than me have my garage door opening. But it means that my poor car had to stay outside last night. It's an inside car. It's like an inside cat. Likes being inside rather than outside. Okay, so there's my bow. Now on this piece, I'm going to die cut this. So I'll just run that through the machine. So it's a good thing it's not raining today, with me having to go to the post office with all that stuff to mail. It would be awful having to go out into the rain with it because my garage door won't open. Okay, so I'm using Granny Apple Green, Blackberry Bliss, and Rich Razzleberry today. So this is a two-step stamping thing, or set, but you don't have to stamp off. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? So, stamp the lined image first where you want it. And then there's this one to fill in the coloring. So there's no need to color. You could if you want, but you don't have to because this does it all for you. Okay, well, my head might get in the way here. And just lining it up before I place it down. That'll do. There we go. Now, I don't know what happened there. That's just bizarre. But I'm just going to take my aqua pen and just kind of pull the color over into those areas that didn't get the color, just to give them a little bit of color so they aren't stark white. There we are. Okay, now the berry, and I'm going to put it down a bit. Nope, not in green. Oh, let's, on this little scrap, let's stamp the stem part. So it has an outside and an inside as well. I can feel I just put my finger in the ink pad. Now I have to fussy cut that because there is no die for it, and I tried various ways of doing it, and fussy cutting was the best that I found so far. And I'm going to try and go as close to the color as I can. Then I'll show you a little trick of how, if you miss and end up with some white on there, I'll show you a little trick how to get rid of that. And the stem, and we don't need all the stem, but I'm putting it there so I can customize it when I get the berry stamped. It doesn't take too long, even though this has got a lot of dipsy doodles and curves and stuff. It doesn't take long to cut it out. Yes, Mollet Monday. I think we'll make that a thing. Okay, one last little bit to cut out here without tearing the stem off. Okay, so now you take your Granny Apple Green marker, and if you left some white, just go around the outside like this, and it will fill any of those white spots in with the color of the ink. Now this works with any color. Oops. Oops. Little tiny thing is annoying. It's in the corners that I usually miss cutting some of the white off, but with that tip you can get right in there. There we go. So there's a tip for you. Okay, here's my tag, and I want the berry to hang down somewhere around there. So I'm just going to make a little mark underneath there with my pencil of where I want the center-ish of that to be. And now I've got my finger in the ink. Oh Lord. Blackberry Bliss. And I'm going to put the center of that flower somewhere around that mark right there. And if it's not precise, it doesn't really matter. And then you take the inside and you ink and stamp it like that. Now, this is going to go right over top like that. See that there? So you can kind of play with it and see where you want to put it. And then I just go in here with my paper snips and snip off that extra stem. And I'm going to put some Tombow on there. So my weekend was uneventful except for the garage door. However, our local families and my hubby's weekend was busy because their well, the pump is down over almost 400 feet. So they had to figure out, first of all, how to pull it all up. And then they had to pull it all up. So they're not done pulling it yet. Okay, so I'm putting dimensionals on here. And it's going to go up over top of the string like that. Good morning, Terry. Glad you could join us. Okay, so that goes in here somewhere. I'm just going to place it down before I push it down, because then I'll know where I want it. Sure, that looks good. Okay, and the stem is still drying, so now I'll stamp the sentiment. There it is, and I'm stamping this in Rich Razzleberry. Oh, well, hello, Julie. And just stamping that there. Good morning, Louise. Okay, now we're going to use this here punch, Treasured Tags. And I'm going to use this one. So you put it down in the groove and push it along like that. So when you turn it around now, it should be centered because I cut this at exactly the right width. So to do this, you have to be slightly under whatever width it is you want. So in this instance, I believe it's, yep, 3/4 of an inch. So just push it in there for the other side and sit it down in the 3/4 of an inch. Flip it over, make sure it's centered, and punch it out. There we go. Isn't that cool? Okay, I need to take a sip of tea. Now, you guys are going to laugh because I have a new tea mug. And I debuted it on Saturday when I was doing my free Well Done class. It's a Yeti. And it's the size of one of those insulated thermos things, and I have to use 2 hands with it. It's so big. There we go. Put the lid back on before it... Oh, then I get water everywhere. Oh my gosh. Okay. So our little stemmy thing is ready to go. The glue dots have dried clear. Then you just put it where you want it. There we are. Could have been over a bit, but that's okay. With Tombow, I have move time, right? There. Okay, now this is going to go on here, like that. So I need a dimensional on one end, and I need a little bit of adhesive on the other end, because it's going to sit up on top of that, which already has the dimensional on it. And I think my ribbon could have, or my twine could have been up a little bit, but that's okay. Remember my word of the year, enjoy. I'll even enjoy these little dimensional hexagons that hang out everywhere in your craft room. There you go. So there's the front. Now I'm going to take some of the gold glitter dots and I'm going to color them with the dark rich razzleberry, and I use the brush end because it's just faster. There we go. This one I colored for another project and it's too red. You need a little bit of a purple tinge. Now I'm just going to set that aside because they do need a couple of seconds to dry, and we'll stamp the inside. So I need my dirty paper. Come on. I know you're in here somewhere. Yeah, I cut a lot of cardstock yesterday. Got all my club cards prepped. Got all the Sand and Sea class prepped. Paper shares are ready to go out. Oh my. Oh, and I designed a new card for the Sand and Sea class because I wasn't happy with one of them, so I did a new one. And that happened at like 11 o'clock last night. It's a good thing I got lots of sleep this weekend. Friday night, oh my, I don't know why I was so tired. I slept 7 straight hours on Friday night. Didn't even have to get up to go to the bathroom, the washroom. Which is really unusual. It was lovely. Fingers in the ink pad again. Get rid of those before we end up with mung everywhere, because you know, mung shows up no matter where you go. Okay, now we're ready to put the inside in. Oh, no sponging on this one. Oh dear. Shall we sponge? Val was here. I don't know whether she's still here, but we could sponge a little bit of Blackberry Bliss around the inside before I put the adhesive on this time. There you go, Val. Just for you, whether you're watching it now or in the replay. There we are. Put this away before I get ink everywhere. Some Stamp and Seal on that. Yeah, I went to replenish one of my Stamp and Seals that ran out on Saturday, and I only had one refill left. Oh good, you're still there. Yes, I sponged just for you. So I had to put an order in for anyways, so I just ordered a whole whack of those refills. Okay, now we can put our bling on. One. Oops. I lost it. 2. Three. This one needs to not be on a flower. Oh, it's not coming up. Apparently it's squished up there. Okay, there we go. That's the card. The card and the envelope. Now we could have colored that that twine. I just thought of it. I should have done that. Would have had some blackberry bliss twine. Oh well. I think I'll cut that tail off though a little bit, because otherwise it'll interfere with the envelope. And I liked it short on one side, so I'm just gonna, whoops. Uh-oh. Who's been using my ribbon scissors for non-ribbon stuff? Come on, get the bow back where it's supposed to be. There we are. So, this can be done with any designer paper, any theme, any sentiment. It'll make a lovely sympathy card too. If you toned the green, I would use Old Olive instead of Granny Apple if I was going to make a sympathy card. That would just tone it down a little tiny bit. So, that's it. We're done. You guys got any questions while I do a little cleanup here and waste the 20 seconds? If you're waiting for club kits, they'll be in the mail today. If you're waiting for the Sand and Sea kits, they'll be in the mail today. Valerie, I sent you an email, so if you haven't seen it, if you could look for it. Just a question about the papers for the Sand and Sea class. Awesome. Oh my God, I know, only half an hour. And it's so pretty. Now this one, I saw a similar one out there made using the blueberry paper. So it was all done in blues. But this paper just called my name. Okay, if you are going to craft and make a card using this layout, I'd love to see it. Just shoot me an email or message me or just post it in the comments. I'd love to see what you're creating. So today's Monday. Tomorrow I have a class. Wednesday I have to go to Nanaimo, so I guess I'll be able to make a Costco run. And then Thursday morning I'll be back at 10 o'clock. And let me see what I had planned for Thursday. Let's see. I took a picture. Oh, I think I have a fun fold coming up on Thursday. But that's okay. Something will happen Thursday between now and then. I hope you guys have 6x6 is fine. Okay, I will do that, Val. And I'll get it in the mail to you today. Thanks for joining me. And I hope you have a wonderful day. The sun is trying to shine in Port Alberni. Oh my, in January. That doesn't happen a lot. So go out there, have a walk. I'm going to, once I haul my 30 pounds of mail to the post office. Stamp and smiles, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.